And so I'm glad you're here. So in there, I have two resources for you. I'm going to go ahead and share my screen. Um, so the first one that one of the first ones you're going to see there is this one. And this is what you would have for the students. And then they have this one. And I'll use this one to start with. Um, Let me go ahead and present. And so um, this is the 3D printer that I recommend, and we'll look at it in a bit. Um, this is the bit.ly, but I mean, there's not that many people, so I just put it in there and then I can send it to you again. And so you're going to see some information here. I like to share this information here because it might be something you're like, yeah, I know that's why I want it also. Um, but this is something good that if you need to convince, the higher ups, another teacher, somebody that they're like, yeah, but how? Why should I do that? Oh, let me change something real quick. Where's Canva?
Yeah, I
Share.
was going to say I need access to that.
Here it is, public view link. That's the one I need. Copy. And then let me put that in the chat. I think the one I shared is the one to edit. Let me try this one. If you want to try this one, there you go.
Thank you.
No problem. And so, and this kind of like lends itself to another point. I'll have teachers ask me, so, how do you like get the academic part in right away? My advice for anything with tech is just introduce it to the kids because for them, it's like a piece of cake. They see it and they're like, "Oh my God, I love this. I can't wait to eat that cake." But then if you go, guess what? It's healthy because you open and it's made of bean sprouts. They're gonna go, I don't want it. And it doesn't mean that we won't get to the academic parts, but the kids, we want them to fall in love with the tool, and then we can leverage it in the future and go, hey, we're gonna do some writing, but you know what? I want you to make a 3D model of one of your main characters or the antagonist, the protagonist. They don't hear the writing part. They go, "Oh, I get to model and take something home that's going to be printed. It's magic." So that's my advice on that part. If it's drone, just let them fly it before they program it. Where I'm at, there's a lot of students that are impacted socioeconomically. We have a lot of migrant workers. Not a lot of resources here in this area in Imperial Valley. I mean, Maureen, you're in Palm Springs, Kristen, you're in LA, so I'm sure you know. For example, Calexico, it's a border town. A lot of people there struggle. Um, Anytime I show parents, hey, this is what we're doing in the classroom, they're like, please do that more. They know there's money in technology and those careers and so on. So if you have, that colleague or admin that's like, hey, why should we get more printers or why should we get this other printer? Here's some information to help with that. Um, the soft skills. Right now, I know there's a big push. Let me put this on silent. I don't know who's messaging me like crazy. Um, the big push with AI right now, it's it's a positive and a negative. Um, I think everybody's just so excited because you can just make stuff and it writes for me. But the research that's coming out is the more you use it like extensively, the less sharp your cognitive skills are. Now, if you've never developed them like a student, they don't have them. So it's like, I don't know if you've ever heard that slang when the kids go, "Oh, it's a smooth brain." Um, I feel like, your brain looks like a normal brain because just like any other muscle, you've worked it. But if not, then it's like in the cartoons where the muscle like kind of swings back and forth like that, like the old cartoons. And so I will introduce AI to students. But I tell them it's never going to be faster than you. And I use my daughter as an example. She's a nurse. If someone's flatlining, she can go, "Hey, Chat GPT, this person weighs this. Oh, never mind, they're dead." She has to go, "Okay, the charts, boom, get me this much of this," or "Okay, I have it here in front of me because they told me to have it ready. Let's go." And I tell them the only way you have that is if you learn it. And I've seen a lot of growth in students that make things. Like Kristen, you mentioned there was a makerspace at your site, or was your classroom like a makerspace?
It was my classroom. Yeah.
Mine was.
Yeah.
When the pandemic happened, we had ordered 30 built like the kit printers, the ones that you build by hand. And the idea was my STEM club that we had going, they would help build them, and so would my classroom. And so we would have like a print farm. My students would have access to it all day. And then after school, any student that was not in my class could be in that club. My students were excluded. They were so sad. But when the pandemic happened, we sent those home and we had them build them via Zoom. Very difficult because kids did not know what an L wrench was. I go, well, it's the one that looks like an L. They're like, oh, the seven. I'm like, yeah, I guess I've never heard it called a seven wrench, but sure. And I've seen some of those students now that they're going into 11th grade. Oh wow. So next year I have to be at the graduation because that's my one of my last classes that I had. And I have some in our robotics team, and they said specifically having that at home and building it inspired them to go for bigger challenges. And so I understand, where AI is headed, but at the same time, it's like Wally. When the humans first come out, they're in that little chair, and what's wrong with them? They're not in shape. They haven't taken care of themselves because they don't have to do anything anymore.
Mhm.
And so I think in education, you do need to have the kids making and doing things. So I don't know if you guys have anything to share in regards to that or what you feel about AI.
I definitely I saw that report that came out about the AI usage. And I just working at an organization that is putting AI as a priority right now. We do a lot of legislation within the state of California and New York, right, to for digital learning for students. I just I know AI is going to be it's everywhere, right? Like our students are going to see it, whether or not we teach it in the classroom, they're going to see it at home through the use of their own devices, right? It's not going away. Um, AI jobs, right? Like, but I don't think I think I mean like I think that takes us a second like a back seat to the more critical like thinking skills that kids get out of doing things like this, like making stuff and tinkering, like right, like that was always a huge part of my makerspace, and figuring out solutions that aren't
Yeah.
like a computer's going to tell you what to do, right? Like
I
so
love that you're making that point. And it goes back to why I love teaching with these kinds of tools. Because at the end of the day, if they have to 3D design something like an assistive tool, which is what I usually do towards the end of the year, like it's very high concept, here's some videos of some people with special needs, physically, mentally. What can you 3D design to help them make their life better, easier? That's something you can't AI. You can try to use it, but I feel like in some ways it's worse now. And some of the information I get back, because I always double check, triple check through Google. Like, where's the source from this? Sometimes I'll say, hey, where's the source? You didn't give it to me this time. Oh, my mistake. I actually didn't find a source. This was my opinion. And I'm like, wow, like you're doing that. And so, and I mean, it's not that I'm anti-AI. I think it has its place, it has its power, but at the same time, where's crypto really? Crypto is supposed to be this huge thing, and there's only really one coin. What happened to NFTs? For like 3 years, everybody's like, hey, you got to get in on NFTs.
Mhm.
They're worthless. The reason I mention it is I feel like it might not be as sustainable as people say. And I feel like some of the AI tools are not really AI tools. It's just an advanced program that does something. And oh, they slapped AI on it. But there's been talks that in New York, they want to bring back nuclear energy because of how much it can consume. And I asked ChatGPT, hey, how much do you need every time you're updated? Because there's periods where they upload more information to it. And it said, well, think of it like this. Imagine driving a car 20,000 miles nonstop. That's every 3 months. I need that. And so then I said, how much was needed for when you were initially built? It's like, imagine driving 420,000 miles nonstop. That's what was needed to build my knowledge base. So for me, it's like, okay, it might be sustainable, it might not. But for me, we can't take, our foot off the pedal on how we've taught and actually teaching things like STEM and making things. I think that's where there's a lot of strength in it. And so we go back to this creativity, problem solving, critical thinking, and the collaboration piece. It's really, really powerful once you see the kids doing it. And so, let me go to the next slide. Um, Again, careers, industrial design, architecture, game development, animation. Um, the models that they make, even in Tinkercad,
Mhm.
technically can be put into a software that allows them to animate it. Um, and it's a very basic one. Um, if we have time next week, I'll show you one that I have on my iPad that'll allow you make, something like this, like the Labubu. Like all the details. Let me stop so I can, if somebody watches a video, to get this kind of design right here, you have to use one that's like digital sculpting, like a digital ball clay. And there's one on the iPad, $20. Works great. We have a class set that we can put on iPads and then pull and put them back. Um, but um, a few years ago, I was at a training for Raspberry Pi at UCSD. And while there, the dean of the architecture school stopped by. And he was like, give us like a quick speech. Hey, I'm glad you guys are here. He goes, I kind of have a random question for you guys. He's like, who's teaching 3D printing? And I raised my hand, and so did like about five other teachers. And then he goes, who's teaching in elementary? And there was another teacher there that he raised his hand and he's like, that's great. He goes, because we have students that fall almost a year behind because they're trying to learn these 3D printers. Because that's all we use. He goes, for our concepts, for prototyping. He's like, we need them to understand how to use it. And he's like, if they come in, he goes, like they're a year ahead. And so the design aspect is a huge part of it, and so is the machine. The machine not as much because they're easier to use and almost pretty much run automatically. You still run into problems, but we can look at that in a bit. But again, so here's some information to get you started. If you're like, what, how can I get my students to be excited about learning this? And it's something that they want to do. And again, 3D design, talking about movies, TV shows, advertisements, game design. It's huge. That's what my son is studying right now. And a lot of it has to do with 3D modeling. And um, again, why would we do this? Cross-curricular connections. We can blend, for example, in history, I have a colleague that he did a unit on hieroglyphics. So he had them write about the language. He had them write by hand, like, the symbols, and then he had them create these totems that are based on actual totems that they have in Egypt. And the kids wrote their own name in hieroglyphics. And so there's a tool that you'll see on the design software. You can draw with, your finger if you're on an iPad or your mouse, and it turns those scribbles into a 3D representation of itself. Right there, he's connecting ELA, he's connecting a unit of history. The kids are experiencing making something that someone made, 1,000 years ago. Um, and so he's bringing it like really to life because then they're holding it and there's pictures of them and they're talking about it. They have to present on it. And with this one project, he's bringing in, the content, but he's adding all these soft skills, specifically like the presenting on it. Um, I don't want to say it's just really for project-based learning, but I mean, once you start to understand it and you're like, wait, I see how I can take this and add this to it, all of a sudden it's no longer a snack, it's a meal. I can add all these other things that the kids are going to need to learn, will want to learn, and I can bring in these soft skills also. The personalized learning part, really, like today, I worked with some high school students in the morning and I asked them, you have two choices. You're going to either make your dream school or you're going to make an assistive tool. And then from there, the kids always ask great questions. One of them said, hey, could I make something to organize myself? I mean, I can't think of anything for someone that I know that might have, special needs. I said, okay. And so I told the whole class, you guys want to do that? Go ahead. Bunch of kids were happy because they're like, okay, I think I know what I want to do. I just it's not really for somebody with special needs. It's just something that I think would solve a problem I have. And so because of the flexibility of the tool, it allows for flexibility with the teaching and the learning. And then STEAM. Um, as we move forward, it's so much technology, we can't move backwards with how much I think tech is being seen in the classroom. I mean, I don't mean more screen time. I think exposure to more types of tech, and by doing that, we can spark that interest in something that later on could be a career, such as a drone pilot or someone that 3D prints houses, which is a thing. And so right now in a second, we're going to look at Tinkercad. But what I wanted to show you, and then right now, just Maureen, if you have any questions or Kristen, so these are some things that I've made. This, I used an AI tool to recreate an image of a samurai helmet. It did a pretty good job. Um, the Labubu, which somebody designed by from scratch. Um, there's also different materials. So I don't know if you've ever seen Kiki's delivery service, the little cat.
Mm-hmm.
So here's another cat. Hold on. The same one, but this one is squishy.
Oh, wow.
And the printer that I'm going to talk about, it's about, there's two different versions of it. One is about 380 and the other one is right under 500. And you can print this kind of material or glow in the dark or wood. My first printer was $2,500. Got donated. Donors choose. Thank you, Kristen, for adding that to the slideshow. Um, it, like I said, it's not even anymore like, man, how do I raise 3 grand for one? It's like, okay, maybe I just pay for it out of pocket. Or, you know what? Let me raffle some tickets. Let me talk to my admin. You know what? Let me print some stuff with the printers I do have, and then we'll get a nice newer one. So, the other thing I wanted to show you is like little ones. I mean, what do they have to learn in, kinder and first? They're sight words.
Mm-hmm.
What if we give them a physical sight word?
Something tactile. Yeah.
I have a teacher that has them put, Play-Doh on top so they
Mm-hmm.
can see the words. And then she tells them, why is it backwards? Like something that they'll never really think about till they see it. Like, wait, why is it backwards? And she gets them like excited to talk to each other about it. But the cool thing about this is if you put a bunch of sight words each week, the ones they're learning about into a, say like a paper bag, all of a sudden you have hot potato. And whoever says the word, pass the bag. Oh, I can't say the word. I don't know. Oh, I didn't study this week. I've been playing too many games at home. Oh, timer rang. I'm out. Guess what? I'm going to want to not be out of the game first. I'm going to want to study for a reason because it's a game. Another one is this little guy from Mario. Guess what? You put the sight word here, put it backwards. Instead of Friday quizzing, hey, Friday, it's game time. We're going to play Mario Brothers. Hey, say the sight word. Oh, you got it right. Knock them down till they get to the boss. So now you're checking for understanding for them. Guess what? Everybody's going to ace it. Because who wants to lose in front of the class? Nobody. But if you tell them, hey, there's a quiz. Hmm. But if you tell them, well, if you pass all the levels, you go to the treasure chest. And that's what you can do with 3D printing. Um, so if anything that I've showed right now, like that one, I have a bunch of sight words. I can definitely share it with you. Um, I think we'll end up posting this on somewhere where we can post the whole video, or the link to it. So if anybody that is watching it, you can just reach out wherever you're seeing this. Maureen, if you know somebody that's like, hey, they would love this, or do you want me to get in contact with them or Kristen, we can definitely do that. Okay. It doesn't end right here, just so you know.
Thank you. Thank you.
So with that, I'm going to show you before we look at some hands-on stuff. So this is the project that we have, and this is what the teacher would display for the students. So we're combining ELA. We have some ELA, ELD supports built in. There's a document attached to it. You should have access to it. If not, then I'll make sure to change it up. Um, But then we're adding the SEL part to it, which is they're going to make a keychain for someone else, but that person is important to them. So the catch is it'll be for someone you respect. Guess what? Now we can talk about respect. What does respect mean? It has to be somebody they know. The first time I ever did this project, I had like 10 keychains made for Taylor Swift. Nothing against her. I like some of her songs. If I had to pick a famous person, I'd probably pick like an actor that I like or something. But so right away the kids will ask, especially the boys, they all want to make a keychain, I think, for like a soccer player, so one day they can give it to them, which is admirable, but okay. Um, they're gonna present that keychain. So now the kids know up front, hey, you're gonna write about it, but I want you to come up and talk about it. Okay. Then they need to explain why they chose that person. Don't tell them about it. Okay. Because at the end, there's a surprise. And then we'll get to the surprise. So, just real quick. All right, guys, get a piece of paper. You have your whiteboards, use your iPad. Just give me the name of the person. Who are they to you? Give me one reason you respect them. Think of a second one. Just write down they're nice. I don't need a sentence. I just want you to write down quick in 5 minutes, pick the person. And then the last one I love because it really gets them to critically think about themselves. What's something that you could change to be more like that person? They might ask, "Oh, can I make it about my friend? I really respect my classmate." Yes and no. I've tried it. They're usually like, "Oh, my friend's nice. Oh, I could stop being mean to people." I think it's a little too easy for them. I would say it's got to be somebody. It could be an older brother, older sister, aunt, uncle, pastor, if it's their coach, something like that, I think would be a better choice. But again, you can let them go however you want. Um, if there's a student struggling, you can offer up yourself, say, "Hey, well, make it for me, you know? Or what about a past teacher you liked?" Sometimes they just need that little push. So then from there, now they expand on it. Um, this one is for 3 paragraphs. In fifth grade, I usually start with 3 paragraphs so I can gauge where they're at. This is a good beginning of the year, I think, activity slash project for them to do. And then if you click on this, let me hit escape, see if it lets me open it. There it is. Let me make sure. Okay, yeah, it says anybody that has the link. Um, so this is something that can help them. You have a lot of sentence starters. You might say, you know what? I'm going to make a copy and change this. It's also in Spanish, by the way. This is where I used AI. My Spanish is not so good for translating. Um, you might say, you know what? I'm only going to give this to a couple students. That's fine. You can give it to your whole class. It's up to you, but it's there if you need it. Okay. And built in is a tutorial video on how to make that keychain. It walks them through it. You can play part of it, pause it. It's only 4 minutes long.
Okay, so
It's me. I don't like to hear my own voice, so I'm gonna play it right now. Um, and then they're gonna present, and guess what? Here's some tips for them. Something that I love to do is I make one and then I present very badly. Like I look up at the ceiling, and that like everything that they're not used to hearing me speak or how I speak. I do it. And then I ask them, hey, what did I do wrong? Um, the first time they're going to make a presentation for me, I make a terrible presentation. I know I have one somewhere. It's been a couple years, but I have one that is like no background color, no picture. Sometimes the font is too small. And then I use that one sometimes even as another way to show them again, do not present like this. And they laugh, and I tell them, okay, so why did I do a bad job? But why is that bad? And I told them, and I always ask them, will you take me serious as a teacher if I keep speaking like this? And they laugh and they go, no. I go, so how can I take you serious as anybody if you present like that. And for a lot of them, it's like a switch. They get it. You'll have some that, of course, they have their issues at home, they struggle, so they might even need more support. Um, one year I did have a student that he spoke mainly Spanish. We were doing our swapping for, and I'll come back to it right now, for ELD. And I had the low group. It was my first year at this new district that I'm at now, which is now my sixth, seventh year, which I'm very happy with. Um, he goes, he's kind of outside and kind of like, And I go, why you look so sad already? He's like, oh, you guys do all this cool stuff. We're not gonna do that. I go, why not? He's like, well, we're the low group. Okay, I go, I was planning on starting a project today, but I guess not. No, 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 wait, wait, wait. I go, but I'm gonna tell you right now, I told him, you're gonna work. I'm not gonna take it easy on you guys. Because for me, you're not a low group. You just need to learn English a little better. I go, you guys can all use this. So when he had to present, he asked me, can I present in Spanish? Because my English, I have a real thick accent. Go tell you what, I'll go up there with you. You and your partner, you present in Spanish. He does his in English because he wants to do it in English. I go, I'll translate for you. He's like, you'll do that? I go, yeah, I'll do it for you. He stops me. I'm right getting out my seat. He goes, he went up there and did it in English just because I gave him the option. But if he wanted to do it in Spanish, I would have let him. Most of the kids spoke Spanish anyways. But I wanted him to see, hey, I'm here. I'm gonna support you. Okay. Um, and where did it go? Oh, here it is. And at the end, here's a little bit extra credit. After you print it, like for example, we send iPads home with the kids. I don't know if this year it's going to change. We might change it towards less often they take it home. But the reason we don't want them to tell the person is we want them to hand it to the person with the camera on and tell them, I made this for you and this is why, and capture the reaction. And then that's it for that project. Questions, ideas, feedback? What do you guys think?
Do we have access to make a copy of that Canva presentation that you have? I can't
I-
seem to.
If not, let me do this. Let's see.
And then his
I was
sister was
messing.
trying. Oh, I'm sorry, Maureen. Go ahead.
No, I was just saying I was messing around with the link and I couldn't, I'm in Canva and I couldn't seem to find it in Canva or
Let me
open it.
download a PowerPoint version of it and I'm going to share it with you right now.
Okay, thank you so
That
much.
might be related to my question too. I was trying to get the copy of the student document that you had shared on Canva, but I couldn't. It wouldn't click out and open like the Google Doc.
Okay. Let's see. Okay. Try this one. And if I need to, I can I just do it now. I mean, let me download the Google Doc. And for some reason, I don't know why Canva, like if I share it with you guys to see it, um, it won't let you make a copy. You know how like if you can view only a Google Doc, you can still make a
I
copy
think
of it?
I think you can share it as a template.
Okay, let me,
Is that possible?
I keep clicking the wrong thing. Hold on, let me see. I think so. I'm gonna find a way to share the online one too with you, but I'm gonna send you downloaded copies right now. And then let's see. Can view, can comment, can edit. Mhm. I'm gonna give you a copy of it. I'm gonna give you the link now. It allows you to edit, and you should be able to make a copy of it with that
Okay,
link
very
right there,
good.
that last one. Try it right now while we're here. And while you're trying that, what do you guys think? Ideas, feedback?
I love it. I'm excited. You're making me think about some things that we could do in the beginning of the year that I think the kids will be real excited about. And I think, they come to my classroom and I try and incorporate the writing and all of that because it's so important that they write in every classroom. Um, but I think if I would to do something like this, I think it would also get the teachers more excited and get them thinking about other projects that they could do with my support in their classroom.
Something that I like to do, and I know, I mean, I don't have a classroom. Technically, you don't have like a set of of students, the whole year. Um, but you could offer to some teachers, maybe that's a way to get them to come in and learn how to run the software and the machines, is instead of like, the sight words, it says Marine. You come in, hey, I'm your new teacher. Welcome to fifth grade. I'm Mr. Huerta. Come on in. Go ahead. Your name is on your desk, but I don't tell them it's this. So I have students come back to the door. Is this for me to keep? Yeah. Look, you guys, there's going to be on the desk for you. This little thing gets them already talking about it. I would have my printers running this that day, just little random things for them. And the number one question, oh, when are we going to use them? Like December, right? Christmas. That's when everybody wants that Christmas break. Oh, okay, around that. I told them I thought by Friday you guys would be running them for me, but if you don't want, I always say if you don't want to, and they go, whoa, 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 hold on. Who said I don't want to? Um, Kristen, what do you think about this project?
I really like the project, and I like the fact that there's a presentation component tied into it. Um, I used to do a lot of that in the classroom. Whatever they were working on, whether it was like a project-based learning activity, there was always some sort of presentation tied to it. And it's great, one, because you're addressing the speaking and listening, like Common Core standard skills, right? But for a lot of my students who I taught, who were multilingual learners, right? That's important for them to build confidence as well. Um, so I really like that they're not just like making something, right? But they actually have to share like what they're doing with their peers, right? And receive feedback on that. Yeah.
And I mean, if it's creative writing, some of them are going to have a hard time because again, they're consumers. Maybe they only watch TikTok and YouTube and play games. They've never made something. So it might be hard for them to come up with like a story. And I'm sure you guys can think of students. I had students, I'm like, look, I'm going to let you do 10 paragraphs, but we got to stop at 10. I mean, I wanted five, but I'm going to let you run with it. And some of those students on purpose will be like, nope, needed five. Why? Because I want to see, can you make it? Can you use enough accurate words and really good words to get this 10 paragraph story or this bigger story into five? And they look at it as a challenge, especially those strong writers. They're like, okay, I think I can do that. Um, so yeah, I mean, just these words, they walk in that first day, they're already like, what's next? Um, so we have about 20 minutes. Let's do this. Let me go ahead and share the printer that we use in our district. And it's actually this brand, Bamboo. So I'm gonna go ahead and go over to this one here. This is the one that I really, really love because it's not huge. When it does have this attachment, it does take up a little bit more space. And so just using the image, I'll explain what it does. This allows for four different colors or four different materials to be loaded. Now, some materials cannot run through this, which is called the AMS. It's their multi-material system. For example, if you're using a wood filament that they now have available, it's wood and plastic infused. So when it's actually melting, it smells like a campfire. It's really cool. And it feels like wood, it sands down like wood. There's some materials that you would need to put a special attachment up here that goes right here. Um, and you would run it, but it comes with that attachment. So if you buy this one or without it, um, either way, you can run any material. And sometimes you really don't want to use this for some of those more exotic materials. Um, the price point with the AMS is 500. Without it's 350. It looks like they came back down after all the stuff with the tariffs because this is the price that I had paid previously. Um, build size is 256 by 256 by 256. Um, it is decent size. Now, you might have seen like this one, if you've seen any of these printers, even though it looks bigger, this one still prints the same volume size. The other one is gonna have tougher parts. Um, Certain materials like the flexible one, the squeezy one that I had the cat with, wood filament and carbon fiber, which is can be as tough as metal. Those you have to dehydrate them in a special tool, like a special machine, or some people get a food dehydrator and they put tape, they hack it. But this printer, the X1, um, it has that built into the chamber because it's totally closed off with that door and it has a special lid. So if you have that one, you can run any material and prep any material. But if you're only going to work with basic PLA, the most common material, this is the one to go with. Um, this one will cost you $13.69. Without that system on top, it's $1,000. Um, Speed wise, this is their newer model. They haven't done an update on the tech on that bigger one that I just had on the screen. So this one is a little bit faster. If the other one takes an hour, this one might take like 55 minutes. There's a little bit of a difference. But Maureen, do you know which printers you guys have at your site?
Yeah, I have the expensive ones. I have the MakerBots. I have
Okay.
two of the what was it? The Replicator 2s, and then I have a couple of the new Sketch. I just got those.
So the sketch and the replicator, I've had them here at home. Let me guess, the hardest part is when it doesn't print correctly, like it's too close and nothing's coming out, or too far away and looks like spaghetti. It's how do I balance it, right? Like get it back to printing accurately.
Yeah, no matter what I do, sometimes it just doesn't work. Like no matter how much I try and do the adjustments and go through that whole process. Um, the newer ones, the newer Sketch, they seem to be better and easier to work with. But again, it's a smaller footprint, right? You can only make it's a smaller size that I can print with those versus the older ones.
So, and it sounds like I sell them, but just because I mean, and of all the tech that I use, this is my number one, like my the one I'm most passionate about. If you notice, there's no little knobs down here. You never adjust this. What this does, right in here, where the print head is at, there's a mini LiDAR. LiDAR is used for making those topographic maps. I can't believe I said topographic correctly the first time. Um, so the technology has gotten smaller over the years and less expensive to the point where they're able to put one in here. So when it starts, say you're doing like a small thing that takes technically 5 minutes, it'll take 7 minutes every time to prep itself. So what it does, it'll touch down on 16 points and measure itself accurately 99% of the time. Um, so you make a design for a site word and you're like, all right, send it. It'll check, hey, I need support material, like the little branches that hold up things that are hanging over. It'll warn you before that. But if it doesn't find anything wrong, it's like, I'm ready. You want to send it? And it has Wi-Fi. Um, it's really fast. So on your sketch, if you did a keychain, how long are you talking about each keychain? 45 minutes, an hour, 20
Yeah,
minutes on these.
probably.
They're 20 minutes. Um, you can do multiple colors. Some of the ones for the students, I did, like a black base with yellow.
That's
Um,
what I was most excited when you said it took the different filaments. I'm like, oh my gosh, you can actually print in multiple colors.
Now, if you were printing, say, like my face, and this is all the same color, when it gets here, like to where my eye is, it's like, pink, white, brown. Well, it'll go pink layer, switch, white a little bit, switch, brown, switch, white. That's where you run into like, well, it's gonna take like 10 hours. It's only this big. But if you do a keychain, it goes from 25 minutes to 26 minutes just for the quick switch to the other color. And the software is very, very easy to use. Matter of fact, just so you can see it, um, these are keychains that I'm making right now. So if I want to do multicolor, I can grab my bucket.
Oh my gosh.
And I think that looks pretty cool. Let's see. Oh, let me get his hair right there. And there you go. And I mean, I want to get in between the letters right there. Whoops. But that's as easy as that is. That's all you got to do to paint an object in here.
Wow.
And literally, like, I'm done. I hit slice. It's gonna warn me probably like, hey, there's an issue with one of them. Um, so these four keychains, one multicolor, 3 hours and 20 minutes. But if I take off the painting on this one, four keychains of decent size, 2 hours and 7 minutes, which is fast. It's like ridiculously fast. Questions?
How many keychains can you like print at once? Like I saw the four on there. How many? I mean, like, can you do more than that? Can you do
Oh
less?
yeah. As long as you can fit them. Now the cool thing that the software does, here, just let me show you again. Let's say I have like multiple copies and you push, it has a lot of shortcuts. So if I push A, it'll arrange it for me. It'll say, hey, I need a second build plate for you. So if I go to slice, this is already, as soon as I click this square, it's already doing it for me. And there you go.
Mhm.
And so it's very easy to use the software. My son is always like tinkering with it because he's been using them since he was like 9. I have one of my rooms here is basically a makerspace. And he has one of those liquid printers. Those are very complicated and they get a little messy, but he wants to do his miniatures and he was doing them off this printer and they were coming out pretty accurate. Um, but yeah, it's something that he's used for a long time. Um, let me see.
Now, are you designing in Tinkercad still and importing them into that software?
Yeah, yeah, you can definitely take it from there. Have you used Thingiverse?
Yeah.
And then they have their own, like the Labubu. I found it through Bamboos. It's called Maker World or Make World. Totally free, you know. And they have a lot of cool tools. I think next week we'll spend some time in Tinkercad, and I'll show you some of the tools they have. Um, have you ever seen a lithophane?
Yeah.
Let me go grab it so Kristen can see it. Hold on.
I guess he's actually gone.
So, Maureen, do you get funding in order to get these tools for your classroom or your space?
We used to until this year. Now we don't have title funding.
Mhm.
Or we were told we won't be getting any title funds this year, which is basically a huge loss to our program.
Mhm.
So yeah, everything that we have has come from outside funds, not from internal funds.
Okay. And do you use things like, I mean, like, obviously this year will be that first year you don't see the fund, so you might have to look elsewhere for it, if you need funding. Or do they allow you to do things like donors choose? Because I know some districts have cut down on what teachers can ask for.
Yeah, Catholic schools can't use Donors Choose. Donors Choose is only for public schools.
Okay.
So, if I'm ever really looking for something, I have to put it out to parents and see what I can get, which, I did a cardboard arcade at the end of the year and it worked out really well that the parents, like, I got tons of masking tape and tons of materials and stuff. So I'm really excited that they came through because sometimes you never know whether you're going to get it or not.
Would you be able to sell things to raise money? I know a teacher that he's in charge of ASB at 6th grade and he does 3D printed hearts. They're like $3. Put a name on it, $5, and he just uses the same template and just changes the name.
Yeah, I think that's where we're heading. Not sure whether student council is or whether it'd be a club that's going to do it. Sometimes it's easier if it's a club basis. I also have a bracelet club. The kids wanted a bracelet club, so we have a bracelet club, and we were looking at printing some like custom little beads, which I've done in the past for them. So um, hopefully we can raise funds to get some more filament and stuff like that. Because that's the only thing is like, yeah, it's great you have the printers, but then you have to replace the materials. And if you don't have that funding there, it gets a little more difficult. And like the kids, like you have the glow in the dark filament. That's one of the things they've asked about. It's like, oh, can we get some glow in the dark filament? And I'm like, yeah, let's get, let's raise some funds so we can get
Yeah.
some of the other filaments that we want to use. So I think this year I'll have people on board to do that.
The bad part is when you're like, oh no, I didn't realize I ran out of this color or materials like really, really low. And I tell the kids, you can't just run to Walmart and grab this. It's like we got to order this stuff and all that. Their material, if you buy, I think like 5 rolls, it's basically $18 per roll, and it's pretty good quality. It's really nice
Oh,
quality.
wow.
So, have you seen a lithophane before, Chris?
No, I don't think so. What?
It doesn't look like much. Marie knows what's
So
gonna
hard
happen.
to see. Yeah, yeah.
Oh
The
wow.
coolest.
That is awesome.
Now,
Is that just a light reflecting
yeah,
off
if
it?
I
Yeah.
hold it up at the right
Yeah.
angle, I think you can kind of see it
Yeah. Oh, I
like
see. Yeah.
sunlight.
Yeah. Yeah.
But this next one, Maureen, you're gonna cry. You're gonna go, oh my God. Check this out. Watch. Let me get this out of here. You can tell I was working with students on this. This is a cool video. Robert Downey Jr. goes to see this kid that gets his own Iron Man 3D printed prosthetic.
Hmm.
Um, bamboo lithophane. Ah, wait. Oh, here it is.
Oh my gosh.
It's really cool.
How in the world? That is so cool.
Mhm.
So
this is an old style lithophane printed vertically, black and white, with the new CMYK lithophane bundle from Bamboo Lab. I introduce you to a new style of lithophane printed horizontally in color.
and so, Maureen, you've printed lithophanes, right? You know how you have to print them standing up?
I've never printed them. I've seen them before, but I've only done not the litho. What's the other one called where you like do the print? You can import the image, make it.
Oh, yes, yes, yes.
I can't remember what that's called.
You convert it to, I think, like an SVG, and
Yeah, SVG, and then
especially like
import it and
silhouettes.
then use it.
Yeah,
Yeah.
silhouettes work really well. So on their website, you can do it for free, and the code and everything, like the slice file off their website, and you just import it to the Bamboo software, and you load it up in the order, go. And so before you would have to print them standing up. And so, Kristen, if you don't have a lot of experience, right, with 3D printing too much, a little bit.
Not a lot, not with like the machines. We've done the pens, but nothing with the machines. Yeah.
So the taller something is, the longer it takes. If it's flat and like say only like 3 millimeters like thick, it
Mhm.
could be cover the whole plate, and that's probably like 45 minutes. It won't take long. But something that's, this wide and this long, but is this tall, that could take like 5 hours because it does a layer, then lifts up, and so on. So these you used to have to put them at about 99% solid. With their printers, you put it at 50%, you print it flat, and it's done in like a third or a fourth of the time. It's great.
Wow. Wow. That is very cool.
So next week, what we'll do is we'll meet. It's going to be Wednesday. Um, I'm okay with just three of us, and this could be every month. We could start meeting every month, and um, what we can look at next week is I'll show you guys some stuff on Tinkercad. Kristen, I don't know if you've ever used it. Maureen, you've used Tinkercad, right?
Hmm. Yeah.
Um, Also, what I could show you is Nomad. what can and can't be done with it. Um, do you guys have access, Maureen, to iPads?
I just got iPads. I haven't put them in management mode yet. That's my new challenge. We're mostly Chromebooks. And then I work off my MacBook, and then I have a lab that's the PC lab. Um, so the iPads are something new, but I do have them.
So what we could do is we'll look at some Tinkercad stuff. Um, again, you guys already have the resource, so if you want to start looking at the videos next week, we could be like, oh, let's just move ahead, especially if it's just us three. The other thing I want to show you is some of the tools that are on the Bamboo software website. Like the color lithophane one. Like, have you guys tried?
Yeah, I was thinking, how did they do that?
It's really cool because you just upload the picture and you tell them, I want a regular or I want a color one. Um, some of they do have some stuff like if you upload a selfie, it'll make a bust using AI of yourself. And it's pretty accurate, but they charge you credits that you can earn when you buy more material and stuff like that. Um, but for that, I would just rather have the students try to make it on their own using Nomad or Tinkercad. Um, and then depending on the time, we can start talking about, okay, let's say we meet in August. And again, we can open it to the public, or it could just be us, or if you have teachers, Maureen, that you know that would be interested in some of the stuff we're gonna look at. Um, like for example, tomorrow, this group, it kind of was like an emergency thing that they called me over here at our community college. They had a guest instructor calling sick, so we did 3D printing today and yesterday. Tomorrow they'll be working on making a video game very quickly using Bloxels. There's no coding required, just design, which is a great way to get kids started thinking, and then we can move them over, say, to Scratch. And then something top shelf would be like Construct 3. Construct 3, I have video game. I still play games. Well, there's somebody here. Give me 1 second, okay?
No problem.
Maureen, do you have like you said you run like the makerspace kind of
That's STEM
program?
Lab.
The
Yeah,
STEM lab. So do you guys have tools like cutting tools like the Silhouette or Cricut or anything like that in your
I
makerspace?
do have a laser cutter.
Okay.
I have a laser cutter. Yeah.
Which
Um,
laser cutter do you have? Glowforge?
Glowforge.
Mm.
I have a Glowforge, and I think we just got because we just got the new lab put in. Oh my gosh, it begins with an M, and I can't think of the name of it. I don't
The
know.
Oh, I think I know which one it is. There's one that and I have it here from my office. Let me go ahead and hit